What's up, everybody? It is Callous, and it is Callous Invitational 6. We are back for a 6th year, which is wet and wild. I know it was only 6 years ago, but the first Callous Invitational feels like a lifetime ago. I was still in my 20s. Hell, I wasn't even super close to 30. I was not in my previous apartment, but the one before that, so like 2 apartments ago. I hadn't even met my wife in person yet, let alone married her. It really was a long time ago, and I can't believe that we're here, but I am super, super excited to be here. You guys have already helped make this tournament happen by donating 1,400 or whatever we're at right now, which is a huge amount pre-tour. You guys rock, and ADV going strong as ever. So excited to go back and do this for another year. I appreciate H-Clad very much, kicking us off with Siglet and Pock the other day, and now it is my turn. We are in the Magma bracket of the play-ins, as was the previous match, and it's Mead and Jimothy Cool. I wanted to catch this live, but unfortunately, this match happened at 5 a.m. my time, thanks to weird time zones, Jimmy being Australian. And, I mean, not that I would be unwilling to stay up till 5 a.m. and do these matches for you. I've done crazier things before. But somehow I suspect, being a married man, had I woken my wife up at 5 a.m. making blissy noises, you wouldn't have found my body. So, I decided to get up at 8 a.m., which it is right now, to do these for you instead. The beauty is, since I was fast asleep at 5, didn't catch it, I'm genuinely going into these completely blind, have no clue what we're about to see, haven't watched one turn of these games, and that's going to make it more fun. You're going to get fully authentic commentary. I'm going to see it at the exact same time that you guys are seeing it. So let's get to the players. Mead, 1,800 plus ladder peak, which very few people have ever done. Got to put a little bit of an asterisk on it because it was with the broken, non-interactive, and now banned baton pass that became known as Mead Pass because he's the guy who built and pioneered it. And then we have Jim Cool, on the other hand, popular YouTuber, more than double my subscribers, which means he has like 10. If you guys want to check out his YouTube channel, he puts up really entertaining content. I'm going to have a link in the description. He's a good guy, nice personality, new to the scene, and is pretty creative with his teams. So, enough pregame. Really excited to be here. Hope you guys are too. Magma bracket action, round of 8. Mead and Jimothy Cool for Callous Invitational 6, baby. Let's go. So Mead's on the bottom, Jim's on the top. These are standard leads in meta in T-Tar. T-Tar out of the way, fearing a Meteor Mash, and Mead does not get cute. He does just go for Mash. It's going to land not very effectively, but still for almost 40% on a Charizard. But Jim is going to opt for a Toxic Zard, which is interesting. Not something I've seen. Pretty creative, though. It hits a bulky water. See if it's a Rest Coon or not. The fact that it has Ice Beam makes me think maybe it's not a Rest Coon. So that Toxic could actually be devastating. Lax is going to wall him here. We're looking at some kind of mixed offense, it looks like, for Jim, whereas Mead is simply going to go back to meta, and he's going to stay in and mash for 35%. But the +1 Earthquake is going to do 73%. Probably a boom coming now for meta. No, he mashes again and misses, and simply dies to Earthquake. So advantage J. Cole right out the gate. Both of them opting for offensive teams here. Now Heracross coming in. Megahorn a lot, but not enough. Body Slam also not enough, but crucially gets Paralysis off. 30% of that happening with Body Slam. And now we're back to Magneton. That gets Body Slammed as well, and also paralyzed. Mead having some issues with this Lax, and it nets a second kill. Effectively a third, because that Heracross is crippled as hell. Seems like a tough poke. This game not going well for Mead at all. 2 dead pokes, 1 low paralyzed poke, and a Coon that I don't know is going to be able to get rid of that Toxic. So, all Jim in the early game here. Well, he's got a Lax of his own. Here's T-Bolt, 25%. Does Jim have an answer? We know he has at least a T-Tar, which is what he's going to baton pass to. Body Slam with a crit. That'll help me catch up a little bit, but Para would have been even better, and he didn't find it. Brick Break from what looks to be a mixed Tar, clearly not choice banded. Well, Tar's not going to be the answer. It dies to Earthquake, and Mead evens us up, air quotes, at 2-2. But Jim clearly ahead here, given the status effects and the health on Mead's team, though he does miss Meteor Mash. However, Psychic's not going to miss, and down goes Hera. Jim Cool with the official lead again. 4-3. Back he goes to Zap. Good prediction for Mead. Snipes that with Ice Beam. Gives himself a crit or a freeze opportunity. Doesn't get it, but still 65%. Nothing to scoff at. That being said, Mead is down to just 2 pokes after T-Bolt here. Gonna rely on Snorlax here to get the job done. BP to the obvious normal resisting Metagross. Gonna really need to clutch up and get a para here, but he doesn't. 30% doesn't cooperate for him. There's Mash, which is gonna survive. But Earthquake there, even with a crit, wouldn't have been enough. And as it turns out, he doesn't get that either. Mence is going to have to either just crit him or Fire Blast him here. Okay, Earthquake is enough, it looks like. There's a chance Meta lives that, depending on the EVs of both. But he needed to kill Meta there, or it would have just been a boom, and that would be that. However, he's not able to kill Pert, even with a crit. Ice Beam going to do it. And that is game 1 to Jimothy Cool. This one, it didn't feel like the outcome was ever 2-2 in doubt. It felt like Jim was ahead for pretty much the whole game there. I'm just noticing the nicknames now. DK Koba, a newer member of the community. Did he name the whole team? Oh no, he activated my pet peeve. He nicknamed some of the pokes, but not others. I hate when people do that. Nickname either all of them or none of them. Kills me. But yeah, that one, wire to wire. Jim was ahead. It never felt like Mead was, I don't want to say in that game, but it certainly never felt like Mead was ahead. It never felt like Mead was threatening to come back and take over. Jim got a lead early and never really let it go. So game 1 to swimmer Jimothy Cool and his Machamp. And we're going to move over to a second game. All of play-ins, as you guys probably know if you've watched these in previous years, they're all best of 3. So here's game 2 with Mead again on the bottom and Jim again on the top. Jim opting for T-Tower just like before. Mead switching it up to Zapdos, which is going to switch out, not Baton Pass out, to Suicune here. Fire Blast is going to miss, not that it would have done a lot. And now Cloyster in for Jim. They're both getting Spikers in. Skarm comes in for Mead. Spike and Spike, sure. Cloyster a lot of the time these days doesn't even bother carrying Rapid Spin, but suppose it's something we could think about. He doesn't go for it here. He does go for Spike's Lair number 2 as the Zapdos returns. That's an obvious threat to Cloyster. Here's Jolteon to take what he thinks will be a Thunderbolt, but no. Mead going to get him with a surprise Toxic. Devastating for Jolteon. Not as bad as T-Wave, but pretty bad. He hates Poison. Good turn for Mead there, and I like his position better in this game at this moment. Jolteon Poison down to less than half. An interesting double back there for Mead. He must have been playing around a Gengar that did not come. Rapid Spin there would have been free, but like I said, he must have been anticipating a Gar that Jim did not go to, so a missed opportunity there for Mead to remove 2 layers of spikes with Rapid Spin. I also don't like Blissey being the thing that he leaves out here. He's begging to leave it in a bad state should the Jolteon die there, and then you get like some Dugtrio follow-up or whatever. I don't think you risk the Bliss. I think you leave something else out there dangling if you're going to just let the Jolteon go. And the Jolteon now is effectively dead for Jim Cool. It does die, I believe. Oh yeah, 3%. It will die to the spikes next time it comes in. Even if Cloyster has Rapid Spin here, its fate is pretty sealed between the Sand and the Poison, however way you want to kill it. So Jolteon fought as itself. Here comes Aerodactyl. Double Edge coming down, immediately resisted by the normal resisting Skarm. T-Tower returns for Jim Cool. We already know it is Fire Blast, but we're not going to get to see that because he gets roared out. We end up with Cloyster on Skarm. Still no confirmation if it is Rapid Spin or not. I'm going to speculate, like I said, that it does not. Ice Beam is going to make it even less likely that he does. I think the set we're looking at is Surf, Ice Beam, Spikes, and Boom. Ironically, Cloyster does not learn Hydro Pump, which is really weird for a water type, but it doesn't, so you're stuck with Surf. There was a Gengar, so Mead did have the right idea earlier, but he was simply outplayed by Jim, who opted not to go to the Gar, but still influenced Mead's play by the threat of the Gar. Mead was right that it was there, he just couldn't pull the trigger that it wasn't going to come. And he opts for Ice Beam here, perhaps playing around Taunt from the Gengar, but again, that doesn't come. So now Kuhn sneaks in on Brick Break, 13%. 3 layers of spikes beneath Mead's team, and, well, 3 of the pokes don't care about it, but 2 of them do, and Kuhn's one of them, so he's going to be forced to take a rest here. Cloyster sneaks in, probably anticipating that rest. Now the question is, does he boom? And the answer is no. He knows that Skarm's coming in, which is, I think, the right play for Mead. T-Tar comes in now, getting low. Spikes layer number 2 that I don't believe Jim can remove, so it all adds up. Protect, Fire Blast. That PP pretty limited, only 8 to begin with, and on turn 1 of this game, he blew 2 of them, Fire Blasting into the Kuhn. Ice Beam comes in as Dald comes in. Here's Gar. No! Wrong prediction there. He tries to Earthquake the T-Tar. Gar comes in for free. Not able to snipe that with a Psychic, and now insult to injury, a critical hit. Psychic comes down on the following turn, but Claydol in danger here. Would not survive an Ice Punch. Has to get out of the way. Here's Blissey. She gets Ice Punched. 32%. If it does have Taunt or Boom, Blissey's in some trouble here. It is the double back to T-Tar. S-Toss, no! Mead can't snipe it here. He lets the T-Tar in. And there's Brick Break for punishment. Now he S-Tosses as opposed to trying to soft-boil this all away. But that's going to let Arrow in and leave Blissey in a bad place. 37%. Man, Dugtrio is going to be the switch into Aerodactyl. That is bad news bears. It resists rock, kinda, but it is so dead without even getting a single attack off this game. Aerodactyl looking like a threat for Mead. He survives at 5% and gets a spin-off. That's great and all, but what's your rock resist here? Claydol down, 4-4. Skarm going to be the answer. Does it have anything that even threatens the Aerodactyl? Does it have Toxic? We don't get to see here. Rock Slide with a flinch. Protect, sure. Are we PP stalling out the Rock Slides? Is that the plan here? Rock Slide again. And another flinch. Protect, sure. Well, would have missed anyway, but obviously Mead had no way of knowing that. Rock Slide again. And Roar is going to be the best answer. Man, he is going to have some arrow issues if that's the best thing he's got in this situation. Here's the meta switch on what he probably thinks is a Protect, but that's not the case. It's back to Bliss, which works as well for Jim. Now Skarm would have died to mash there, but skillfully, nimbly, dodges that Meteor Mash. Gets a third layer off, which is fine and well, but Mead's got bigger problems. His team is in rough shape right now, and that Aerodactyl is a big threat given the game state. T-Bolt there hoping for para, full para, or some kind of shenanigans. None of that happens. There's Boom. Mead down to 2 pokes, and there's another Boomer on the other side. And that's the game right there. Blissey had to come in on that turn. Unless this is a Crow Coon that immediately gets a Surf off, we're done here. And that is not the case. No Sleep Talk. That is the ball game. Couple double edges later, and Jim is going to clean this up without issue. Going to be a 2-0 victory for Jim Cool, now advancing to the Magma Bracket semifinals against a yet-to-be-determined opponent. That'll be the winner of Leo and Cyber Odin, which, like I said, hasn't played yet. Mead is going to be out in his CALLOUS Invitational debut with an 0-2 score. And like I said, I thought that Jim looked like the better player in these 2 games. He looked ahead in both of them, wire to wire. It never really felt like Jim was super far behind. I don't think that Mead looked bad by any means, but he got outplayed on a couple of critical turns. He did not get that first rapid spin off when he had the opportunity to do so, and his team as a whole was just a little too vulnerable to the Aerodactyl, it looked like. Certainly after getting the Claydol crit, which was not his fault, the arrow is going to be a problem because Doug is not a real rock resist. If Claydol is your only rock resist, you've got a problem. And the other thing, too, is if the Claydol is just boom, EQ, Psychic Rapid Spin, that's not much of an Aerodactyl answer. What are you going to do? Psychic it to death? So this team just really seems very vulnerable to Aerodactyl for Mead. And indeed, he was very punished by that in this game when he encountered a poke that his team very likely did not want to play against. So there you have it. Jim 2, Mead 0, done. There is at least one more game scheduled for today. That is going to be Rob Jr. and PK Leach. Unfortunately, that one's going to happen while I'm at work, so you're going to have to wait until tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning, depending on how tired I am, to get that. But it is coming, and then there's, of course, a bunch of Sunday games, as always, including narrations by other people. Look forward to narrations from Dexa and Coltior coming up as well. Like I said, if you want to check out Jim Cool's YouTube channel, I will link it in the description. No matter what, I really appreciate you guys being here. Very excited this tournament is back. Thumbs up if you are too. And there are so many more videos coming in CALLOUS Invitational 6. I will see you guys there.